I'd just like to ask, how many of you have lived in a village? You have to think so much. Instant answer. Just raise your hands again. All right, hands down. And how many of you live in a village? That's only 2. So that just goes to show that in the urban areas, what perception and how much of a knowledge we have of our villages. The topic is very vast, given the fact that I'm in the village. So, and of course, I've also noticed during my 1.5 years as a Sarpanch that there remains a lot of ambiguity. A lot of people are not aware of what life in a village is like, what the issues in a village are like. So I'll leave this more of an interactive session so that you can come out with your thoughts, what perception you have of village and village issues. Again, I often get confused as to whether I should speak about the village, whether I should speak about panchayats, the Panchayati Raj, or should I speak about what brought me here. But given the topic, let's just say that, and given the age group that I'm addressing at the moment, I'd just like to appeal to all of you to remain sensitive and be sensitized by the issues that exist around us. Often we get caught up in the rat race, and unfortunately, even though I have been in the professional world, I have worked in the corporate sector for a reasonably long time. I would say that often when we get caught up in professionalism and become hardcore professionals, there's a certain part which becomes insensitive. And often, more so because most of you are still studying, some of you have probably stepped out of colleges to start work, we also get caught in competition. And therefore what happens is that we forget what our true talent is, and we do not work 100% towards it. We just get stuck with, okay fine, this person is doing, say if we're in school, we'll say, okay, this person is getting 98%, I need to get 99%. But if you just focus on yourself, focus on what you want to do, focus on and be confident about your own individuality, your own talents, you can actually get that 100% and more. So I just request all of you, don't get caught in that rat race. Work to your fullest potential and be confident of what you want to do. The good thing is that most of you have more opportunities than, say, Chhavi had in terms of the opportunities available. And again, I've also noticed we often get caught cribbing a lot about how the system is, the condition we are stuck in, the schools we are stuck in, the teachers that we have. But again, it's a question of how you look not at the content of life, but at the context of life. Just to give you an example, say if I happen to meet 3 people, 3 masons or sculptors, I asked the first guy, what are you doing? And he turned around and said, what, are you blind? Can you not see that I'm cutting a stone? And he was really, really full of anger because it's not something he wanted to do, but he was just stuck doing it. The second guy, on the other hand, was a little more polite. And he said that, well, I need to earn money, I need to fill my stomach, so I'm just doing whatever people ask me to do, and I'm doing my job. Well, the third guy got up and with great pride and joy said that I am making a sculpture which is going to go and be seated in a beautiful temple. So if you notice, the 3 people were doing exactly the same thing, living in exactly the same situation, but the perception of it was different. The first guy cribbed through and through. The third guy was happy with whatever he was doing. And that's what I think all of us need to do as well. Not crib about what's going on around us, but try and make the best of it. And given the condition that our country is in at the moment, there are a whole lot of opportunities for each one of us to seize. And the best part about the age group that is seated here is the fact that our minds are still fresh. There is a sense of idealism. There is a desire to do something and to do something different, mixed with abundant energy, which can make the impossible possible, provided you have that drive, you have that zeal. Coming back to where I am, I don't think I've done anything great. It doesn't make me a celebrity. I am embarrassed about the fact that I've written so much about, because I think I've only done what each one of us needs to do. All of us, all our families hails from some village or the other. The sad truth is, as we can see in this audience, that there's only a certain percentage which one is even aware of what their roots are, as in what the village that the family hails from is, and majority doesn't know what villages, what sort of life they lead. And we as educated people, as the tomorrow of our country, because at the end of the day, the tomorrow that India shapes into lies in your hands. And if you don't step forward to help the people who are only being deprived, the reason I say this is, if I speak about the district that my village falls in, I remember when I was a child, there was a railway track which passed through our village. But that railway track has been ripped off to lay down pipelines to supply water from the only reservoir that exists in that district to pump water to big cities like Jaipur, Ajmer, basically to take care of our needs when we can actually afford to build our own water harvesting and conservation structures. And this pipeline again goes from under the nose of the villagers, but not a drop of that goes to the villagers themselves. And that is what often happens. The already deprived are deprived further to fulfill the needs of the people living in urban cities. So if nothing else, I think we should at least try and give back, even if a little bit, and help them in whichever way we can. Because the bigger issues, or rather the biggest issue in most villages in India is the fact that the people who are leading the villages are, I'm not saying not everyone is educated. Down south, Maharashtra downwards, most people are educated. But a lot of villages wherein educated people don't come forward. If you don't become sarpanch, I'm not saying you need to give up your life and become a sarpanch, but participate. Bring in the awareness that is needed. Just bring them basic knowledge of what schemes exist, because most people, we don't have internet connectivity in my village. I can't access the internet and get information from the websites. But I can read, I can travel. But most people can't do that. So if we can participate, give them that basic information, give them a hope, because most kids, your age group, in the village actually have no hope, because the kind of education system they have, the 11th-12th standard kids only have 3 subjects available, which are taught there, which is Sanskrit literature, Hindi literature, and geography. So you can imagine what sort of future they would have, and what aspirations they can look forward to. But yes, there is a dream, and I think it is important to dream, because only then can you actually work towards something and set yourselves a goal. Like I said, I can just go on talking, but I'll keep this short, and I want this to be more interactive. But I just like to end by speaking about Javed Akhtar's poem, which inspires me greatly. Of course, it's a complete rip-off from an advert, but I love the lines, and I'm sure most of you must have heard it or seen it yourself. Zindagi hai to ख्वाब है तो मंजिलें हैं, मंजिलें हैं तो फासले हैं, फासले हैं तो रास्ते हैं, रास्ते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली मुश्किलें हैं, मुश्किलें हैं तो हौसला है, और हौसले हैं तो विश्वास है. So I just end by saying that be confident of what it is you want to do. Be sure of what you want to do and give your 100%. You don't need to get caught up in the rat race. You don't need to do Bher Chal. If your friends are doing an MBA, you don't have to do an MBA. Just realize what you are worth and do that, because the more you do what you like to do, the more the joy there would be in it, and the more you'll be able to contribute towards that effort. Thank you.